Hello, welcome to Dan Does. This is a strange episode already, only episode 3. This is a showcase episode of all the Binding of Isaac sculpts that I've made before I decided to start filming the process. And we're going to start with Isaac because, we have to start with Isaac, and then we're going to go into enemies. And when I say enemies, I mean the small fry, the mobs, not the bosses. The bosses come later on, so please hang around for that. So I'm going to start off with Gaper and Cyclopia, because you saw me make those two. Well, you didn't see me make them, but you saw those on episode 1. So I thought I'd get those out of the way first. So what happens when a Gaper is mildly perturbed? Well, he becomes a frowning Gaper. He's not so much frowning as his eyes are missing, but you know. I mean, I'd be pretty annoyed. And what happens when you take away a Gaper's head? He turns into a Gusher and squirts blood all over the place. He just will not die. Well, he will. He's quite easy, but it just takes a little while. There are stages. And here is the first levitating model of the set, the Boomfly. He is held up by a transparent acrylic lollipop stick that I bought in a batch of 100. From the Amazon. Next we have the incredibly annoying Charger, the little maggot motherfucker. Now if you thought any of these to be cute, you're wrong, because Clot is clearly the cutest of the Binding of Isaac enemies. His eyes are made with glass cabochons, also bought in a set from the Amazon. And he's a relatively easy design, but effective. Simple but effective. Now the host, irritating in the game, not hard, irritating, was a bit more of a technical build, but I rather like him. I hope you do too. This one is also one of my favourites, the little meat bag known as Clotty. They did start running out of ideas for names, so I've had to space them apart by one other character, just so you don't get them confused, but I'm rather happy with this one. Now if ever there was a turd you wanted to pick up and kiss, it would be this. This is Dip, the very smallest of the poos, and I'm sure you'll agree, the cutest. The next one is another levitating one. It's the Moor, and I made this live on stream on Twitch as Anatomical Bomb, which is my Twitch username. If ever you're interested, twitch.tv/Anatomical Bomb. This is the Worm. One of the many worm characters, Roundworm. This is also happens to be my 5-year-old daughter's favourite. Not that I think you would care, but I thought I'd let you know. Bit of trivia. Now this little fella caused some problems because I was using a green screen and had to change to a blue screen for the walking gut. But I do like this model. I used the same wire technique, but with a bead at the end, as I did with the hollow video for the blood effect. Here's everybody's favourite floating anus, the Tumour. I use tiny little bits of wire for hair. You can't see them too clearly on this, but they're pretty effective. And now we're on to the big guys, the bosses. I'm sure you're all sitting there thinking, well, where are the bosses? Well, they're here. There are 6 of them, and I'm going to start with the one that was in the last video, the Hollow, and the other 5 are as of yet unknown to you. This next boss, the Megamore, has probably used more clay than any of these other models. I'm not a huge fan of it, to be honest. The psychic flame on its head looks a bit too much like a punk hairdo. But hey, I tried. It does glow in the dark though. That is one thing. It does glow in the dark. Speaking of adorable poos, here is Dinkle. Is it Dinkle or is it Dingle? It's Dingle. I just saw it. Come to think of it, a dinkle is what we sometimes refer to a penis as. So it's probably best it is Dingle. In this country, at least. Now, I had to have built Monstro. It's pretty much the first boss. Everybody's fought Monstro. And probably won. Because let's face it, he is a walkover. The Duke of Flies! Sorry, the angle's not great, but if you look in its mouth you can see a lot of black beads. They were my daughter's black aqua beads that I stole and covered in resin, and it worked pretty well. And the last, but certainly not least, are the Gurglings. I like this one very much. I was very happy with this. Lovely and shiny. Lovely shiny gore. Look at them, having a whale of a time. And that's the lot so far of the Binding of Isaac models, all made from cosplay by my own hands. Here they all are, about to kill Isaac. If you liked this showcase, then do let me know, because I do have sculpts that are not related to Binding of Isaac, and if you'd like to see those, I can absolutely do another one of these. I can knock it up in a day or two. Just let me know. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your continued support. I'm quite enjoying YouTube. Good night.